the first day you've got to act across from Andre.
Yes.
What's that like?
Well, Andre, what can I say? Like I said, he was truly a gentle giant. He would give you the shirt off his back. It'd be enough for 10 people, but he'd still give it to you, you know. Our first scene together was on the parapet of Florin Castle. And that's the scene where myself and Montoya and he are planning to thank you. I knew someone could fill me in if I ever stumble. Thank you. Storming the castle. And by the way, if I forget the lines that that I mentioned coming up, you got me, right? Yeah, thank you. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Andre had the first line where I'm coming to from being knocked out, and I got taken the miracle pill, and I'm coming to, and Fezzik says, I wonder how long before it takes effect. And I come to and I say, I'll beat you both together, or I'll fight you both apart. Hey, what? That's good enough. I'll beat you both together, fight you both apart, something like that. And then Montoya says, your guess is as good as mine. And then he says, I guess not very long, right, when I come to. Well, Andre didn't get to the word long when he let out the biggest fart. I'm not kidding. No, really. We've all accused each other of giant fart. This was a giant's fart, people. I'm not kidding. Somebody timed it. It was 15 seconds. That's a long time. That's a long time. And the decimal level was in. I looked over at the sound man, and he was removing his headset like that. I thought there was an earthquake. People were grabbing the set. It was like that. I couldn't look at him because when I did look at Andre, I saw steam coming out of the top of his head. I don't know why. Between the fart and the steam and the look on his face of pure relief, like something he'd been holding on to for a long, long time, and he was letting it go. And it was so loud. People in Beijing could hear it. It was nuts. It was nuts. And when it was finally over, you know, and what's so funny in England, by the way, if you fart here, you know, and in North America, people like, oh, dude, open the window, come on. Right? In England, when you fart, people go, oh, gosh, it looks like rain or something. Is that the dog? You know, they all get weird about it in England, right? Well, when it was done, there was a deathly silence, right? Because no one knew what to say. What do you say after a giant's farted for 15 seconds straight, you know? It was like that scene in the film where when he goes, everybody move, and then you see people from 5 counties listen, right? It was like that. So finally, when he was done, Rob Reiner was the first person to speak. And he goes, and I swear to God, this is what he said. He goes, hey, Andre, you okay? True story. And Andre, without blinking, goes, I am now, boss. First day with Andre.
I went to acting school, and our stage combat teacher absolutely adulates you like there was no tomorrow.
Wow, thank you. Tell her thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely. And she used to show the sword fighting scenes between you and Inigo Montoya as the example of the ultimate best stage combat fight.
Thank you.
So I want to know how difficult that was to learn and act out.
It was not easy, but we had very good trainers, Mandy and I. The trainers we had were the guys who did the first 3 Star Wars films. So all the lightsaber sequences you see in the Star Wars film were the 2 guys who trained us. So they were called Peter Diamond and Bob Anderson. And Bob Anderson was an Olympic fencer. And Bob stood in for Darth Vader, and Peter Diamond stood in for I think he was the Tusken Raider. He did that. That's him shaking that great, wonderful instrument he's got above his head. And they were amazing, and they trained us every single day. Literally, they were on the set. We trained for about 3 weeks before we started shooting. And they made us learn each other's parts, because they said the only way we can prevent any injuries from happening is if you learn the other person's moves as well, which is obviously twice the work, yeah? But it worked, because we actually did know exactly where the other person was going to go next, and it was a very smart way to go about it. But Mandy showed up. I mean, he started training a month before the movie started and didn't tell anyone. So when I showed up on the set, he was already like left-handed. I went, "What? Oh, really? Really? We're gonna do that?" You know. But it was fun. It was fun, but it was hard work. It's good on the thighs, isn't it? Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yes.
It's a great workout if you want to like build really big thighs. And I loved it. It was good training. I loved working with these guys. They're terrific, terrific people. And I learned a lot. And we ended up, as I said, shooting at the end of the movie. And I had still a little bit of a sore big toe. But thankfully, it was pretty well healed at that point. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm very proud of it. We did a good job, I think. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. Yeah.
My question, because I am a huge fan of Mel Brooks.
Uh-huh.
So, what it was like to be like working with him?
Well, what can I say? I grew up on Mel Brooks, like probably most of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel. It's Mel. He just turned 90 2 weeks ago. 90. Amazing. I remember getting the call. I was at home. I was sitting at home watching TV and the phone rang. And I picked it up and he went, "Hi, it's Mel Brooks." I went, "Yeah, right," and hung up. I mean, but why would Mel Brooks be calling me at home? I mean, you know, and he called back and he went, don't hang up, it's really me." I couldn't believe it. I was kind of thrown by that. And I go, "Is it really?" He goes, "Yes." And he started to tell me about this film he wanted to make about Robin Hood and that he'd seen Princess Bride. He actually came to one of the first screenings that we had. And he said, "I want you to come in and meet, and we'll meet, and we'll talk, and we'll do it, and it'll be fun." And he goes, Can you fire an arrow?" I go, "No." He goes, "Don't worry, we'll teach you." By the way, that scene where I had to fire the bullseye, this is before CGI. And Mel comes up to me. It was like the last scene before we had to break for lunch that day. And Mel comes up and goes, "Okay, we're going to shoot the scene where you do the bullseye. You got to get it in 3 takes because you got to go to lunch." I go, "What?" He goes, 3 takes, that's all you got." I went, "Oh, really?" So now I'm sweating. So first one, not quite a bullseye. Second one, I think it hit a cat somewhere in, Des Moines. Third one, on the edge. Mel goes, "You got 2 left, and then I'm going to have my chicken." On the 5th one, I got it. And if you look at the film, you can see the complete surprise on my face. And I'm acting like it was totally normal. I went, "Yeah." Crazy. Mel goes, "Great, cut, lunch." Like that. Very funny.
you.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Jason.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good, you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about stock cars.
Okay.
Okay, so Days of Thunder. It's Tom Cruise, Michael Rooker, and yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're the bad guy.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
guessing because you're blonde.
Haha.
So, can you just tell me maybe some stuff behind the scenes, or
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the amazing thing with that's, by the way, another part of how blessed my career has been. I mean, the roles I've had to get to learn various things. I learned sword fighting on Princess Bride from 2 of the best trainers. I learned how to be an astronaut from Dave Scott, who was on Apollo 15 from the Earth to the Moon. So I got to learn how to work the command module. I mean, and then I had Kyle Petty teaching me how to drive NASCAR. I mean, that's pretty groovy, to have Kyle Petty teach me, yeah. I'll never forget the first day that Tom got in the car. They had cameras all over the car, right? And we were in North Carolina, and we were all watching behind the monitor because we're like, "Oh, Tom Cruise is driving a car, and we ought to watch this," right? He literally hit a wall, and just before he hit the wall, he went, "Hello, wall." It's very funny. My first time after training with these guys, so Tony Scott, the director, wonderful guy who's not with us anymore, sadly, wonderful director, came up to me and he was so full of energy, so sweet. And he goes, and there's literally 4 cameras on the car. 3 cameras on the car. There's 2 on the hood and 1 on the driver's side window to catch a side shot of me. and then 2 on the hood. One's going to sort of be like a medium shot, and one's on a close-up. These are very expensive cameras. This is before digital. These are film cameras, right? Which is why Hello Wall was more interesting than you think. So Tony comes up to me and goes, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get up to 180 miles an hour, then I want you to grab the wheel with your knees. I went, what? He goes, yeah, grab it with your knees. I'm thinking at 180 miles an hour, you want me to grab it? Yeah, grab the wheel. Then what you do, I want you to switch on each of the cameras and then clap your hands to use as a clapper. And I went, you're kidding, right? He goes, no, I'm not. I need you to do that. Can you do it? I go, what am I going to say? No? I go, yeah, sure. So now I get in the car, and I've got all these stuntmen around me in the other cars, and we get up to a speed, right? And I grab the wheel. Don't try this at home, kids, okay? Trust me. I grabbed the, yeah, okay, she said okay again. Thank you. Grab the wheel with my knees, switch on the cameras really fast, clap each one, and grab the wheel again, and managed to not crash the car, which was the key to the whole thing. And Tony came up after that. He said, that's great, mate. I can't believe you did it. Tom Cruise crashed one and you didn't. So, yes.
Oh, we got a little girl over here.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, aren't you cute? You get a hug. Come on. What's your name?
I'm Gabrielle.
Hi, Gabrielle. You're very sweet.
Thank you.
What's your question?
Do you like rolling around in the grass?
I do when I'm wearing my messy clothes. You like rolling around the grass?
Yeah.
You do? Does Daddy and Mommy don't mind that? They don't mind when you do that? They know, right? Because you're a kid, right? You're so sweet. Can I get a hug?
Yeah.
What a princess you are.